لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا وحبيبنا وسندنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى أهل بيت الطاهرين وذرية الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. On behalf of the Imam, Moulana Irshad, the Panorama Muslim Community Trust Executive Committee, and of course myself, it gives me great pleasure in welcoming one and all to the continuation of the talk that took place this afternoon here for Jummah, here at Panorama Masjid. It's not the first time that we have in our midst with us Moulana Irshad Soofi, and we thank Moulana for always making himself available and honoring our invitation. Moulana is known for being versed in the sciences of tasawwuf and the love he has for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Ahlul Bayt, his family, the Sahaba Ikram, his companions, and the awliya of Allah. And we can certainly see that emanating from the way Moulana speaks. So without any further delay, it gives me great pleasure in calling up Moulana Irshad Soofi Siddique.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحاب سيدنا محمد وأولاد سيدنا محمد وأزواج سيدنا محمد وأولياء أمة سيدنا محمد كما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be praised as He ought to be praised, which is beyond our mortal capacity. Hence, we have the praises of Allah in His own words, in the Holy Quran, which is a standard text and the only text of Islam, which should be recited by every Muslim, at least daily, a little bit. And especially the praises of Allah, which are in Surah Al-Fatiha, in His own words. May Allah be praised as the Holy Prophet ﷺ has praised Him, as the Nabiyeen, Siddiqeen, Shuhada, Salihin have praised Him. And may we be fortunate to be in this companionship, this beautiful companionship. My most respected Imam, Shuyukh, Qura, Huffaz, elders, sisters, brothers, beloved children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The aim of me being here is not to leave a community more divided, because Islam came to unite, and the very word Tawheed, Wahdaniyat, means unity. If we say one, it's a finite concept, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is infinite. He is not finite. So we say closest we can get Allah is unity. And He is wahdahu. He is one of its kind. He is la sharika lahu. He has no partners that can be joined to Allah. In fact, one of my teachers told me in Madinatul Munawwara that if you take only Surah Ikhlas, see, we cannot translate the Quran. We can attempt to translate the Quran. So any translation of the Quran that you read is only the translator's capability of understanding the text of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala was asked to translate Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. See, it's easy to say in the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful. It's easy to get more respectful and say Allah's name we begin with, because that's what it actually means. So start with Allah's name we begin with. But nothing can translate Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And every Bismillah in every surah has its own meaning depending on the surah that follows it. There is only one surah in the Holy Quran that does not start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And that's Surah Al-Tawbah. There's a reason for it. The Holy Quran in Arabic has to be recited. This is one of the unifying factors of Islam. Because whichever masjid you go in the world, when the salah is on, the imam is reciting the Quran. He is not reciting a translation of the Quran. And the Quran is recited because the Quran has an effect on your psyche. Every word can affect you. And if you think words can't affect you, then you're happy. You get up in the morning. There's no spousal fights. No one troubled you. You read your Fajr. You read your Quran. You read your Salawat. This is what we have to do. And Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is basics of Islam. You don't need a spiritual path. This is the path. You've got to do this. You're driving to work. Somebody drives badly. He cuts across you. You happy, you humming to yourself your favorite Naat or Nusrat Fateh, depending on whichever school. There are differences in Islam. We have to accept it. And here you lose your temper. One action. From happy, you go on to anger. And if the man opens his window and swears you, one swear word makes you more angry. If one word from a mortal can change your condition from happiness to anger, what do you think the words of Allah will do to you? Therefore, ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. The best zikr of Allah is Quran. You got to recite it. It's a spiritual antivirus. Now they come built in. And now it has become easy to read Quran also. Instead of being on Facebook and WhatsApp, I am against this, I'll be very honest with you. This dialogue, debates, hadith spreading via WhatsApp Facebook and this and that. This is causing more panchat in the community, the more drama, fights, unnecessary. You know, you sit sometime 1 hour in a doctor's surgery, and the doctor is always late. After the doctors, but on time. You know, in a dentist or a doctor, wherever you go, you're waiting there 1.5 hours. If your appointment was 11:30, get ready for 12:30. Most people, some are on time. Alhamdulillah, that's what Salah teaches us, to be on time. Okay? So that 1 hour, you see young people and old people, they busy. Facebook, Candy Crush. I don't know what this gives them. Wallahi, I won't take a name. I sat on the stage one day. I stopped lecturing. This Yasin troubles me. Because I'm tired of this fitna in this community. Trials and tribulations and causing mischief. We need to unite hearts. We need to be lovers. We need to be lovers. Imagine if that 1 hour you took your little Quran out, you get a pocket Quran, and now you get an app, you can put it on your phone, and you read 1 hour Quran. Isn't it better than wasting time? Or you'll sit there, you're bored, now you start with the WhatsApp. That Moulana gave a talk in Panorama today. He was talking nonsense. Our Moulana said this man is he's not a Sunni. And somebody else comes in, hey, you can't say this is Soofi Siddique's grandson. No, but ask these other guys, they know about him. He said this. What is this? Khatibahum jahiluna. This is the speech of ignorant people. And when such people address you, qalu salama, the Quran says, maintain your peace. Be quiet. Peace. And how does a Muslim behave? وَإِذَا خَاطِبُهُمْ جَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. Allah says, and when you walk on this earth, لَا يَمْشُونَ, don't walk arrogantly. Now they have a special walk, they call it a bounce. In Durban, they just bounce. We the Owens. Now in Islam, you get this priesthood coming in. I don't know where it came from. Because Islam came to abolish priesthood. I don't want to be very holy. I watch certain movies. If you watched a movie called Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon, very old, the old people may have seen it. It was about Saint Francis of Assisi. And he goes to this Catholic church and he sees this little grandstand. On the top of it is the Pope. Then is the bishops. Then is the archbishops. Then is the cardinals. And they come right down to that, I don't know what they got, all names. So he looks at them. And Saint Francis of Assisi was blessed by somebody who had the inam of Allah on him, and amta alayhi. Because in Surah Al-Fatiha, you see, this is not a joke. It's easy to run away and say, no brother, me, I don't get involved in all these things. I just pray my salah, I pay my zakah, I go for hajj, Allah bless you, alhamdulillah. Allah bless you. But this is the foundations of Islam. Bunya al-Islam ala khams. Islam is founded upon 5 things. When you moved to Panorama Gardens, did you build a foundation and you're living with an open roof? I'm asking you. You make sure you put a solid foundation. And after that, on the foundation you build. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, build Islam upon these 5 things. Because these 5 actions is supposed to instill certain values in you that builds the house of Islam. Then you call people for the housewarming party. But if you call people all your life only laying foundations, then we are wasting our time. Because when it comes to money, we'll be very careful where we invest our money in. Is that right? When you go to any bank and say, the first bank I see, I just walk in and put my paisa in. It's a bank is a bank. We had a bank here, there's no Islamic bank. Everything goes to the Yahudis, to the Jews, the Zionists. You know? So you phone and make sure 10 times the bank, okay uncle, Yasin, you know these people. How's this bank? It's reliable. Where's your iman? Where do you invest it? You make sure it's reliable sources. You know? So, you see, I can't go straight to Karbala without you understanding what the struggle is about. I give you briefly. Muhammadur Rasulullah came to a community that was steeped in so much of ignorance. You see, that they had tribal loyalties and tribal wars. That the war started 100 years ago, they forgot what they were fighting about. And their children continued the fights. Then they had tribal identity, meaning the Quraysh were more superior to that tribe, and that tribe was more superior to this tribe. And we from India and Pakistan, we know about these things. You know? I'm sorry if I'm using it, but this caste is better than that caste, and we can't marry out of our gao. And is that right? I mean, now it's changed. Now, I don't want to take the name, people may get offended. You know? They say like, I know what Alif Lam Mim means. Allah loves so and so. You know? You understand? So, Islam is not a religion of the intellect. Islam is a religion, a deen, a way of life, of love. People fell in love with Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah sent him to a community that were so ignorant that every little thing they fought for. Battles went on for years. The sons didn't talk to the sons of that tribe, and the grandsons didn't talk to the and the great-grandson, and it carried on, and 100 years passed, and this grandson will say, we don't like them. Say, why? We say, we don't know, but we don't like them. My Dada Baba said they're not good people. You see? So this is ignorance. Alexander the Great, you know, he conquered nearly the world. When he came to Arabia, he just came near the desert and he felt the heat. He said, you know what, I want the rest of the world, leave this part. It's too hot here. You know? It's too hot. With all due respect to the sacredness of Makkah and Madinatul Munawwara, those who have been for Hajj and Umrah, you know, aircon is a necessity. You can't live without. We weak. Because we are living under a system that controls our diet also. In Islam, in Makkah and Medina, you'll find fruit from Haifa in Israel. You know, we want to go to the shop and then we say, get the Egyptian grapes. Get the mangoes from Kokand. What do you call this mango? Yes? Chosa. Huh? You ever saw Eskimos eat bananas? So old people had wisdom. If you lived in the ice place, the polar regions, there was no greenery. What you had to eat? Fish and meat to survive. If you live closer to the equator, what you eat? More fruit, vegetables, greens. You lived in the desert, what you ate? Watin, zaytun, olive, fig, dates. But they also knew something else. They knew which foods are hot, sardi and garmi. Hot to the temperament and cooling. You see, dates are very hot, garmi food. So Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa said, whenever Rasulullah ate a date, he ate a melon to balance the humor. But this sunnah we don't want to follow. Because we think, what if a vegetarian accepts Islam now? Do you force him to eat meat? Can you tell him, eat the mutton biryani and welcome to Islam? What brings him into Islam? La ilaha illallah. Thereafter, if he does not go against Risala and Tawheed, he is responsible for whatever he says. If he abuses the companions, he is answerable to Allah. If he believes in a khilafat, he is answerable to Allah. If he believes in an imamat, he is answerable to Allah. But one uniting factor we have in Islam is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. But there's much more to this. You see, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Medina to Munawwar. But he noticed these people are very hard people, meaning their hearts have hardened. They were rough, the Bedouin, Arab. You still, if you hear them speak, you get scared. You know, they don't speak the Quranic Arabic, they speak colloquial Arabic. When they speak to you, they speak so loud, they say, Assalamu alaikum ya Abdullah. You're scared. Why is this guy screaming? And now I know we've gone, at that time, the Jahiliyyah Arabs, if they told you, you are under my protection, they will march with you into the fire of Jahannam. They'll protect you. Today they say if you go to Arabia and the Arabs say, Wallah, I'll do it for you, Sheikh. I'm not picking the Arabs out, don't get me wrong, there are exceptions. You must know it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to correct their akhlaq, their character. He said, I came innama bu'istu. The only reason Allah sent me is to perfect your character. So how do I perfect these people's character? I got to make them fall in love with me. And the Quran says, the more you love Rasulullah, the more Allah will love you. Right? Qul in kuntum tuhibbun Allah. Do you wish to receive the love of Allah? Fattabi'uni. It didn't say ita'at, it said ittiba. Fattabi'uni. This means you give yourself into the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like you take a dog and you put a leash here and you give it into the hand of the master. And you say, you lead me, master, wherever you want me to go, I will go. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you do this, yuhibbukumullah. Allah will love you. The more you love me, the more Allah will love you. Now, you say, okay, we want to follow the sunnah. So what is the sunnah? One sect will say we follow this hadith. Another sect will say, we follow these hadiths. Another sect will say, we don't follow hadiths. Another one will say, we follow only Quran. Some will say, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I leave the Quran and Sunnah if you hold on to this. Yes, he said it. You will not go astray. Then they don't want to quote to you from Muslim, Sahih Muslim and Sahih Tirmidhi, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and Zayd bin Arqam reported, at Ghadir Qum on the 18th of Dhul Hijjah. And he said, no, this is Shia talk. No, this is Islam. He said, Man kuntu mawla, fahaza aliyu mawlahu. He was returning from Makkah. He stopped on the 18th of Dhul Hijjah. Zayd bin Arqam reports, it was a very hot day. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, take some rocks and put a mimbar for him. Said it was so hot that we had to help our hands in cloth, tear our jubbas, carry the rocks and put it for him. And we didn't want his Mubarak feet to be burned, so we took a saddle of a camel and we put it over. And he gave a khutbah, a lecture. And in this lecture he said, amongst many things, he said, I will leave you soon. I'm leaving amongst you two deputies. One is a gift from Allah, the Quran. And second is a gift from your Rasul, his family. Quran wa ahli bayti. There's another narration, he said, I leave you the Quran and I leave you death. Ponder upon this. Now, we don't want to speak about a certain spiritual aspect of Islam. Yes, we are lovers of the Ashabi Rasul, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companions. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddique radiallahu ta'ala, Umar Farooq radiallahu, Usman Ghani radiallahu ta'ala, they left a spiritual legacy, a political legacy. But they were present in Ghadir Qum when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ali, come to me. Ali radiallahu ta'ala went there, he lifted his hand up. And he said, I'm leaving you soon, so look at him, Man kuntu mawla, of whom I am the mawla. Ali is also the mawla. Now in Islam, words have two meanings and many meanings. Mawla means master, and mawla also means slave. Haram means forbidden, and haram also means sacred. That is haram for me to eat, forbidden. But I'm going to Masjidul Haram, the sacred mosque. But when he said Mawla, is there a precedent in the Holy Quran about Ali being a master? Yes. In Surah 5, verse 55, Surah Al-Ma'idah, the table laid out to have some spiritual delicacies, partake in it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Innama waliyukumullahu. I am your protector, your wali. Meaning whom? Allah. Wa rasuluhu. And my Rasul is your protector. Okay? وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And that one who has iman, that he has a condition to it. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. When he establishes prayer, وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةِ. He gives zakah ma'ar raki'un, when he's in ruku. So who's Surah 5 verse 55. Allah saying, I am your protector. Your Rasul is your protector. And the one who establishes Salah, but he gives zakah while he's in ruku. Do you pay your zakah? Do you pay your zakah? Yes. Alhamdulillah. Allah accept it from us. It's a pillar of our iman. It's a foundation. Is it a condition that you go in ruku to give your zakah? I hope it was. Wallahi, because we have made the mosque beggars at the doors of the rich. One of the reasons the Jews are richer, better than us, you know, my teacher, Dr. Fazlur Rahman Ansari, rahmatullah alayhi, said in the 70s, that the Jews are so small, that if the Muslims only unite and split together, in Tawheed, oneness, unity, we'll drown them. Huh? You know what they do? Sorry, I can't go straight to Karbala. To tell people what Karbala is. Today it's not over. 10% of every Jewish person who works for a businessman, his money goes to a Jewish league that gives out to the little temples, tabernacle they call it. And the rabbi, meaning their Moulanas, are taken care of. Their school fees are paid. They got a house. They got a car. Everything is founded. They get them the best computers. They get them all the books they need to do research. And they say, your job, Moulana, is only to do research on our deen. But Ramadan comes and you see Islam. The poor Moulanas and Sheikhs look like beggars. They have to walk around with a book. They have to stand in shops. Assalamu alaikum. What you want? Came to the masjid. Which masjid? I got no lillah. Take the zakat 50 rand. You know? Can you win? Can you win? Islam, we had a golden age. You see, you can say boycott Woolworths. But I want to ask you a question. You type it on your Microsoft Word computer or your iMac. The optical fiber cables that supplying your Wi-Fi was invented by a Jew. The Gorilla Glass on your smartphone was invented by a Jew. You drive in your nice car that you're paying on HP. The money is going to the IMF, which is owned by Jewish families. Then you go march in your Nike and Adidas tackies. You say, it's comfortable to march in the march. That's made on child labor in Pakistan and India. So is Karbala over? Or we are surrounded by Pharaonic, Yazidi and Nimrodi forces every day. They are attacking our food. They have attacked the purity of our foods. All this long life milk and all this was made for the Vietnam War. Then they put it on the market. Islam didn't say eat halal, it said eat halal and tayyib. Is the food tayyib today? You eat steak. They're injecting the cow with what's estrogen, the female hormone, to make it fat. So now when you eat a Texan steak, shouldn't be eating steak. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the meat of the cow is a disease, in the milk is a benefit. You no more become JR, you become Jane Eyre. So femininity is increasing. And we overeat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, eat a few luqmat so that you can keep your back upright. And us? He said if you can't do that, then the excess is 1/3 for water, 1/3 for air. The Moulana can give a beautiful speech. He can quote Quran and Hadith from now till Qiyamah. He knows every Imam's book. You know, you get the Mullah Mafia today. The whole of Islam is only in his Imam's fatwa book. If you again go against that fatwa book, you're not in Islam. And each group got their favorite mullah and their favorite fatwa book. A fatwa is a ruling that was given for a certain time in a certain place and a certain occasion. It's not revelation. Okay. So they divided us. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they fell in love with him. They didn't follow a law. They fell in love with him. And anything he said, they obeyed. Sami'na wa ata'na. He said, read salah, they read salah. And salah only came after how many years? According to the most relevant authorities, it came after 10 years after the Prophet ﷺ proclaimed his prophethood. He didn't become a prophet at 40. He said, I was a prophet while Adam was still between sand and water. Well, Adam bayna tin what? Ma'i. I was already a prophet. Tell you something else, and this is not sectarian talk. The Hanbalis, Imam Ahmad Hanbal's Musnad is the most followed hadith kitab by the Salafis. Allah bless them. He wrote a kitab called Tariq, also history. In this kitab there is a hadith. Ana wa Aliyun khalaqakum min nurin wahid. Me and Ali were created from one nur. And in Khadir Qawm is saying, Man kuntu mawla fahadha aliyu mawla who I am the guy, Ali is the guy. And in the Musnad of Imam Hanbal, the favorite Imam of the Salafi, I have nothing against it. I think we need to return to the Salaf, the early generation, because we've strayed. But do not become so that when you see something wrong, instead of pruning the tree, you pull it out of the root. Prune the tree, tazkiyah. So, in the Quran, let's speak Quran because they're going to dispute hadith. The Prophet ﷺ was told to say, Qul, tell them, La as'alukum alayhi ajran illa mu'addatan fil qurba. I ask you no reward for what I've given you, except you must love my family. Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala said, Man qurbata ya Rasulallah? Who are your family? He said, Ali, wa Fatima, wa Hassan, wa Hussein. How many? 4. And he was the 5th. One day, he takes his Mubarak shawl and he puts it over Bibi Fatima. She brought some food for him. She still lived next door. He says, call your 2 sons. Puts them under the shawl. Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he has respect. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not a time did Bibi Aisha say, my husband said this radiallahu ta'ala. She said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. Not a time did Bibi Fatima say, my father said this. Say, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. Hazrat Aisha said, I saw my father Abu Bakr Siddique radiallahu ta'ala continuously looking at Ali in any mehfil we said. I asked her, why do you do this? She replied, now we speak from the heart. I hear my father say, I hear Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying to my father told me, An-Nazru al-Ali ibadah. To see Ali is ibadat. To see the Kaaba is ibadah. To see Ali is ibadah. The Kaaba is a building built with stones and mortar, where Adam alayhi salam prayed the first time to Allah. But the human heart, who built it? Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, break the Kaaba, we will rebuild it. But don't break anyone's heart. Because Allah built it, you can't build it. So, where do we learn this compassion from after you leave us physically, Ya Rasulullah? Man kuntu mawla fahadi Ali mawla. Of who I am the spiritual guide, after me Ali is the spiritual guide. When I speak like this, people say he's Shia. But this was in Tirmizi. Was Imam Tirmizi a Shia? Was Imam Muslim a Shia? Abu Sa'id Khudri radiallahu ta'ala reports, is he a Shia? Imam Hanbal reports, is he a Shia? That the first two people to congratulate Hazrat Ali, they said, congratulations, Mubarak, Ya Abu Turab. You know why they call him Abu Turab, father of dust? Let me tell you about the special status of Rasulullah's family, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What time is Isha Azan? 20. Time's gone. Okay, quickly. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's daughter Fatima, radiallahu ta'ala anha, was married to Ali. Ali was born in the Kaaba, the house of Allah, and Fatima was born in the house of Rasulullah. Jibreel alayhi salam came down and said, Ali and Fatima have been married in the heavens, Ya Rasulullah. And Allah wishes you marry them here. When they got married, Hazrat Ali, you see the Arabs, they eat a lot of dates. I'm not picking anyone up. And they climb mountains. They weren't weak like us. We talk of Sunnah. If you see their swords, we were only able to lift one sword up. They were strong people. So they had many wives. They restricted it to 4 wives. 4 is the minimum. They had more. And they could manage. You understand? So Hazrat Ali wanted another wife. So you get these aunties. Today men do it. They call cow cows. Somebody went to Rasulullah, said, Ali is gone to Abu Jahl's house, he wants his daughter. So he calls it. Bibi Fatima hears this, the cow was telling, Ali is gone, hey, getting married again. She went father's house, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He comes. Ali heard, he's scared. This is the Rasul of Allah. He's sleeping outside Masjid al-Nabawi and the dust is on him. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes and he takes his Mubarak foot. He says, wake up, oh Abu Turab, because the dust is on him, father of dust. He says, listen to me. As long as my Fatima is alive, you do not take another wife. Did Ali not know Quran? He could have said, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, but Allah said in the Quran, 1, 2, 3 or 4. But he knew, Atiyullah wa Atiyu Rasul. May you tell Rasulullah, he was obeyed, Rasulullah has obeyed Allah. Fine. When the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he loved them. He got them married here. He didn't allow Ali to take another wife until Bibi Fatima passed away. The sons of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, the Prophet ﷺ said, these are not your sons, O Fatima. These are not my grandsons, these are my sons. When the Prophet ﷺ went into sujood, Hazrat Imam Hussein jumps on his back. He extends the sujood so that Imam Hussein does not fall off. According to the Urafa, the people of deeper knowledge, 72 times he read Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. That's why there were 72 at Karbala. The first time Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddique radiallahu ta'ala sat on the mimbar Rasul after Rasulullah left this world. Imam Hassan is a young boy, he walks in the masjid, 6 years old, small boy. He looks at he says, Uncle Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, get off my Baba's mimbar. No children, huh? Yeah. So everybody looks at Hazrat Ali like, you taught your son to say this. He said, Wallahi, I never tell him. Abu Bakr Siddiq gets up, he said, please don't scold Hassan. Because I heard Rasulullah say on this mimbar when Hassan sat next to him, you know, grandchildren, they come sit next to him. Yeah. He said, this son of mine will stop a fight between two groups of Muslims. He was referring to the battles that were coming. Siffin and Jamal. Then, Abu Bakr Siddiq gets off the mimbar, he said, Wallahi, he has spoken the truth. This is not my mimbar. This is his Baba's mimbar. This is mimbar-e-Rasul. And it will remain mimbar-e-Rasul till Qiyamah. Until he goes on Maqam-e-Mahmud. Okay? So, the Sahaba loved Imam Hassan and Hussein so much. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, if I want to smell Jannah, I smell Fatima. Al-Fatima to Badr, Fatima is a piece of my heart. Ali minni wa ana min Ali. Ali is me, as from me, and I am from Ali. Hussein minni wa ana min Hussein. Hussein is from me, we know, your grandson, your Sahaba. But you are from Hussein, you know on 61 age on Ashura. You're talking about Adam alayhi salam? Yes. You're talking about Musa alayhi salam? Yes. You're talking about Fir'aun? Yes. You're talking about Namrud? Yes. But there's going to be an incident relating to Rasulullah. Because no one can make him shaheed. Because Allah is his protector. So every shaheed will take his example from Hussein. Because an aspect of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is Karbala. And when did Karbala take place? 61 years after the Prophet ﷺ passed away. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala was the Khalif. Umar radiallahu ta'ala was the Khalif. Hazrat Uthman Ghani radiallahu ta'ala was the Khalif. Now Hazrat Uthman Ghani was from the Umayyad tribe. They were trying to break the tribal thing. And they were already accusing him. He's putting his connections as governors because the Islamic empire was getting big. When Hazrat Uthman Ghani was assassinated, Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala was a very powerful man. For 20 years he was a governor at the Damascus mosque. He said, oh Ali, you find the killers of my family, man. Because tribal thing. He said, I'm the Khalif. First I want to bring stability in the Ummah. So don't tell me what to do. So there was a difference of opinion. Eventually Hazrat Ali karamallahu wajhahu became the Khalif. After Hazrat Ali was assassinated, Hazrat Imam Hassan became the Khalif for 6 months. The Khulafai Rashidin is not 4, they 5. 30 years you count the 6 months of Imam Hassan. Then he gave it to Muawiyah, who eventually passed it to his son Yazid. And Yazid, according to Ibn Khasir, he was a fornicator. He was a man who was a drunkard. He only didn't indulge with women, he indulged with boys. Cape Town, you should know this. This Zionist movement, they want to change this whole place into the gay capital of the world. We don't know, we sheep, we sleeping. Suma is not stupid. Anyway, I don't want to get into politics. Now, the caliphate had reached a low. The grandson of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Imam Hussein, he said, if I give my hand into the hand of this Khalif, I'm setting a precedent for the future. Then any unworthy man can rule the Islamic world. So, but the Prophet ﷺ prophesied he's going to be martyred at Karbala. So he didn't go for a battle. Because when you go for a battle, you go with soldiers. He went with his wives, with his 6-month-old child Ali Asghar, with his son Ali Akbar, with his nephews, with his sister Zainab. There were 18 pure blood of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And if anyone tells me he made a political blunder, when Rasulullah put them under that shawl, this ayah came down. He said, Ya Allah, this is my family, purify them. Innama يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. This is your family, Ya Rasulullah. I purified it. Is a man purified by Allah? Can he think wrong?
No.
Can he walk wrong? Can he make a wrong decision? I'm asking you, doubt Allah's purification. That's why they call Panjatan. Pak. So it was a protest march to Karbala. He knew he was going to go there. Prophet had told him, you're going to die in Karbala. And he stood with 18 members of his family. People who read the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, martyred him. He passed away in sujood. And this event was remembered by the great Khaja Mu'inuddin Hassan Chiste Ajmeri of Ajmer in India. He said, Shah Asta Hussein. The king is Hussein. He said, no, he's not a king. Badashah Asta Hussein. The king of kings is Hussein. He said, no. Deen Asta Hussein. The deen is Hussein. When the deen is threatened by people like Yazid and Donald Trump and Netanyahu and all these people in the world, the Rothschilds, the Illuminati, Di Pana Asta Hussein. The Deek seeks refuge in a man of truth like Hussein. Sardar, give your head. Don't give your hand into the hand of a tyrant. Because the Haqqa ke binai, the foundations of La ilaha illallah, rest on the shoulders of Hussein. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. I hope you understand this. That this has nothing to do with sectarianism. It's an aspect of Iman to love Ahlul Bayt. It's an aspect of Iman to love the Ahlul Bayt. It's in Quran, Surah Shura. La as'alukum alayhi ajran illa mu'addatan fil qurba. Ask you no other reward except you love my family. Okay? In Salah, do you send salam on the Prophet? Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. Do you send darood on his family? Is Imam Hussein included in his family? So if you're reading Salah in Attayat, you say salam on the Prophet's family, whom the Prophet called my son, whom the Prophet said is a piece of me, and then you go kill him, then what has happened to your Salah? You're contradicting yourself. You're saying peace be upon him and then you're slaying him. So we can't forget Karbala. Because Karbala is the turning point of the history. Unfortunately, petrodollars control the Muslim world today. And to be a Maulvi Saab and a Sheikh and a Pir Saab has become very fashionable. Because you get a lot of paisa. Not all. You get good Pirs. You get good Sheikhs. I'm not saying it's bad. But generally, this is what has happened. They say, pehle Pir ki gadam ghar mein aati thi to barkat aata tha. Abhi Pir ki gadam ghar mein aao, telephone account barta hai. Do you understand? So Allah bless us. I can't tell you the whole history of Karbala. From Maghrib to Isha. Right? But it is, in my book I have written Medina to Karbala, it's in 2 volumes. It could have reached 10 volumes. I had to reduce this book. It is available outside. It is at a cost of 200 rand. It costs to print and so forth and so forth. If you look at other books today, I think it's very cheap. I mean, this is the advert part. This is my capitalist portion coming. So if you'd like to purchase the book, it has references, it has everything. If you don't like what I've written, you can write another book. You can call it Shara of Medina to Karbala. This is the Islamic tradition. You didn't like what Bukhari wrote, or you liked it, you wrote the commentary of Imam Bukhari. So maybe you can follow the tradition, the Sunnah, like the tradition, the commentary of Medina. Don't go behind my back on WhatsApp and say he's a kafir, he was a Shia, must be careful what he was saying. You know? Because every hadith cannot be taken on face value. I'll tell you one hadith. We're going to do it in a few minutes. I'll tell you one hadith quickly. There's a hadith in Muslim and Bukhari. If a man steals an egg or a helmet, you must cut his hand. I wrote another book called Attack on the Spiritual Art of Islam. Inshallah, I'll bring it next time. Those who've read it, you know about this book. Do you know there's a hadith? If a man steals an egg or a helmet, you must cut his? It's in Bukhari and Muslim. Now if any Tom, Dick and Abdullah takes that book and reads it, and he carries an axe with him, and somebody is dying of hunger in this capitalist system, and he wants to feed his family, and he sees an egg and he steals it, and you say I have to enforce the Sharia and cut his hand off. Neither Imam Abu Hanifa, neither Imam Hanbal, neither Imam Shafi'i or Imam Malik put it in fiqh. Is that right, Sheikh? So in order, لَيْسَ الْإِلْمُ قَصْرَةَ الْرِوَايَاتِ. Imam Malik said, ilm is not knowing a whole lot of traditions. But وَلَكِنَ الْإِلْمُ, true knowledge is a light that Allah puts in the heart of a mu'min. May Allah put this light into all our hearts. And don't ever make the mistake of calling another Muslim a kafir. Allah. Because the Muslim Sharif Hadith says, if you fire the bullet of kufr, if that man is not a kafir, definitely this is a guided fatwa from yourself. It's going to turn and come back to you. You want to take the chance? You want to take the chance of losing your iman? May Allah save us. Oh, sorry Yasin, I can't give a talk straight on Karbala. People have to understand what is Karbala. Karbala was the stand for truth in the day of Ashura in 61 AH. From the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam till 61 AH, Hussein minni. Hussein was from Rasulullah. But from 61 age, wa ana min Hussein, then my deen comes from Hussein, because thereafter you're going to find a lot of Yazids and sellouts in this world that's going to sell you out to people who's going to bluff you on the media that are owned by the Jews. North Korea. You think this North Korean guy is mad to sit behind one desk and fire one missile? They make him look like a cartoon character. Do you find a nuclear weapon sitting behind a desk that looks worse than the school teacher's old desk? I'm asking you. North Korea has diamonds, it has gold, it has natural resources like Africa, they want it. The capitalist mafia. And unfortunately the mullah mafia can't see beyond their little classical textbooks that they carry around to make each other kafirs and fight. You know? The knuckleheads with the akal and knuckle. You know? And you think Venezuela is a problem? No, they want the oil. They want the oil. Why they don't want the Muslims in Burma? Because if we rise up, and you know who's making us sheep? The mullahs. They're keeping us fighting with each other, call him kafir, ye jannat mein jayega, ye nahi jayega. Who gave you the license to put you? God? Don't proportion the mercy of God. Don't proportion the mercy of. We don't know one little act can put a sharabi into Jannah. Bishar al-Hafi used to drink sharab. He saw the Quran on the floor one day. He had a young girl in Baghdad pick up the name of Allah, wrap it up, and he said, put it on a high place. Allah made him a wali. Allah. Hazrat Junaid al-Baghdadi said, one day I went to a funeral and I lowered the man into the grave. And you know, Islamic funerals are profound because you can feel the body. And then you throw sand over his man. He says, when I went home, I dreamt I'm back in that grave and the angel of punishment and the angel of mercy is there. And the angel of punishment is saying, what are you doing here, angel of mercy? I have to take him away. See his mouth, he ate haram. See his eyes, he looked at haram. See his stomach, he ate haram. See his feet, it went to haram. The angel of mercy says, listen here. Allah sent me to take him because Allah says, look at his heart. So we don't know. The rahmah of Allah has no limits. But may Allah save us from fitna. Amen. May Allah save us from disunity. Amen. The message I give today, if you don't agree with me, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah is enough for you. You don't need me in your life. You understand? But we cannot tolerate abuse of the Khulafai Rashidin. We cannot tolerate abuse of the Holy Prophet's family. We cannot tolerate abuse of the Holy Prophet's companions. There's certain aspects we keep our mouth shut on. When I was young, I spoke about it very openly. It's an open, not an open secret, it's not a secret. Many fatwas were passed upon me, alhamdulillah, it's an elite club. They passed fatwas on Imam Abu Hanifa, they passed fatwas on Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, they passed fatwas on Imam Hussein, yes, it passed it. So, may Allah save us. Allah bless you all. I'm sorry to take so much of your time. Jazakallahu khair, wa ma alayna illa al-balagh. Shukran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Jamaatul Muslimin, there's a request that the Moulana should proceed and continue after Isha. Is it okay with everybody for a few minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Mashallah. Barakallah feekum inshallah. There's a few minutes, Moulana. It's okay with Moulana? Barakallah. Hayakum Allah.